Welcome back to For the Love of Men podcast. My name's Courtney Shand. I am co-hosting with my dear friend Brianna Mosier, and the intention of the show is to bring together men and women to learn how to honor and bring out each other's natural masculine and feminine energetic course so that we can create healthy, polarized relationships. We've got a really fun episode for you guys today, but first, Bri, for my new friends who are listening, tell them who you are, what you do.
Who am I?
What do you bring to the table?
That's funny.
What do you bring to the table?
I work with mostly female entrepreneurs to help them embrace their feminine energy, both in business and in dating and relationships, because they want to feel like they are able to receive more, like they're in flow with their business, like they get to play in their business, and attract in healthy, empowered, masculine men. So that's my work on the planet. I'd use a lot of pleasure, orgasmic manifestation work, somatic work to bring women home to their bodies, and it is so much fun. That is what I do. Courtney, tell people what you do.
Yeah. So I am a feminine energy mentor. I really specialize in helping women create more authentic expression out in the dating space, out in their creative expression, whether that's business or work or just in relationships. I find that really activating their own masculine energy really creates a supportive experience for their feminine energy to radiate, to bring in more healthy connections, to help them be more authentic in their day-to-day routine.
So good.
Yeah, love it. Love it. And today we have a really fun episode for the men. Mm-hmm. We talked about what wounded masculine women looks like. We talked about how to be more in your feminine. And now this one's for you guys of how to identify an empowered feminine energy queen. You can't see on the podcast, but Bree's letting me use her queen mug.
That Courtney gave to me.
That I gave to her because she's a queen.
It says queen with a little B underneath it.
Yeah.
Because my name starts with a B.
And it's totally on brand. And it's got a little crown on top to keep the beverage warm and steep your tea, which I thought was...
You'll see it on TikTok.
Super functional, which is my thing. All about functionality. So anyways, we'll get to it.
Yes.
So green flags of kind of the earlier stages of dating is what we wanted to focus on for you guys, because we talk so much to the women. We were thinking, like, what's been our biggest growth points that would be identifiers to men that this woman is ready to go. She's available for a healthy relationship. And so many of the men that have reached out or given us questions, or that I've worked with or Bree's worked with, have been around like these identifiers of like, is this healthy? Should I stay? Should I go? And so this is a very legitimate question that we wanted to shed some light on, because it happens.
Yeah, and I think as women who've been both wounded and empowered, at least for me.
Yeah, me too. I'll claim that.
I think it can be fun to hear from a woman's perspective, you know, what is wounded and what is empowered. And I will say too, I don't know that when women are in their wounded, sometimes they know what they're doing. I did not. Until I did this work, it was maladaptive coping tendencies that I had learned to get my needs met, and how I'd seen relationships modeled to me that weren't healthy. They were, it was full of codependency and enmeshment and all of these things. And I'm not proud of that, but I had to do that work to heal those wounds and become empowered. So Courtney and I will someday have an episode on what we call earning the crown. Like to be able to say, yeah, I'm an empowered feminine woman. Not that it's a hierarchy thing. It just takes a work, and it's something I still work at every day.
100%.
You know?
Yeah. I love that you said that, because I've really shifted that. Even in doing this work, I have a lot more compassion for wounded energy. Not that I want it around me all the time. I definitely have my boundaries, but I can see it clearly, which gives me a more compassionate space to navigate with. Like, actually, I'm going to sidestep that. That's not for me. That's on you. I know you can do that and handle that. But I love that you said that, because a lot of times there's so much lack of, so little awareness, so much lack, so little. There's just not enough awareness.
Yeah.
There's not enough awareness because we're not taught what healthy looks like. Definitely not in Hollywood. Definitely not from most of our parents. Most family dynamics are a little bit enmeshed or a little bit dysfunctional, and not, maybe on that spectrum of like gross dysfunction and abuse all the way to just minor little micro dysfunction that we have to clean up, that will manifest itself in our adult relationships, that we get to take ownership of and really elevate. You know, if we were going to act from the most empowered version of ourselves, this is what that would look like. Is kind of what we're wanting to paint. Not like wounded feminine energy or wounded masculine energy is makes them a bad person.
Not at all.
It's just they have...
It's just wounds.
Yeah, nowhere to aim for if we don't set a new vision.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so with compassion and love and grace and allowing people to be human, we want to share with you some green flags that we see in women and as women that also we recognize in other women. Oh my gosh, what a great way to start. One of the green flags I had when I met Courtney, as now become one of my closest friends, is how grounded she is. And I would say that for men, this is so important to look for too in the potential women that you're dating. Are they grounded? Which is not to be confused with, and we're going to give you a big distinction on this, closed off versus grounded.
Same are.
Right? Closed off women are wearing this masculine mask. They're out of touch with their emotions and they're out of their body. They're in their head. It can look like a lot of things, but the sensation that you will feel when you're with her is, I can't feel her. Who is she? Where is she? Like, is she present inside of that body? Versus when you're with an empowered feminine woman who is inhabiting her body. And for my women listening, go back and listen to our episode on embracing more of your feminine. I think it's episode 25.
I think so.
That will really help you. But is this woman inhabiting her body, alive inside her body so I can feel her? So women who are grounded will still be in touch with their emotions. And unfortunately, we do a lot of shaming in our society around women being in touch with their emotions. We call it irrational. We call it overreacting. And sometimes that is true. But an empowered feminine woman, make no mistake, she will have tears, she will have anger, she will have emotionality, she will be expressive, and she will show you that expression through her body. What you're looking for, the green flag, is that she can still hold herself in those emotions. And when she's vulnerably showing you those sides and allowing you to come in and hold her, she's not putting it on you. Like, here, take this, hold my emotion, make it better, make me feel better. She's like, I've got me. I can hold this. I know this is mine. And I am vulnerably opening my heart and showing you my vulnerability because I trust you as a man.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to let you into my inner world. This is hard for women. I don't know about you, but I had to learn how to let that masculine guard down. So what you're looking for is groundedness. She's still got ownership of her stuff while she's letting you into it. But you definitely want a woman who's in touch with her emotions, 100%. Or else you're probably with a woman who's going to be quite closed off. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a coping mechanism. And to me, that would indicate, is she really available to give you her heart or open her heart to you if she is not even opening her heart to herself?
Ooh, such a good point. We always talk about you can only meet someone as deeply as you've met yourself.
Yep.
And that is the basis of intimacy.
Yeah.
So for those women who are still wrestling with what it looks like to take off that shield or that mask and reveal your inner world with someone else at the same time, that's the distinction too. Sometimes women can be seen as like ungrounded or unstable because they're able to reveal what's happening on the inside, but it is a maladaptive behavior in that it's not being reciprocated simultaneously. There's a lot less vulnerability involved to just spew emotion at you than there is to sit in my grounded, I'm experiencing this emotion, I'm showing it to you with my whole body, facial expression, tears, whatever it may be. And I even have room for you to reach out and support me. And I don't like guard against that, or, you know, you can let it in. It might be jarring at first, but we're always kind of like up-leveling our ability to receive more support, receive more tenderness, receive more compassion in that moment. And I think that's the distinction of being grounded, is that she's still present, even when she's feeling a huge experience of emotion.
Yeah. So to be super clear, wounded feminine women, it would show up as they're spewing, pouring your emotion all over you, making you take it. It's like, I'm upset, I'm angry, you did something wrong, here, you take it. I don't want to look at me or self-reflect. This is all you, it's all you, it's all you. She can't sit in it. She spews it everywhere. This is where we do see kind of women, I hate to use the word overreacting because they're just feeling what they're feeling.
Yeah.
But basically, you're trying to make someone else take it, not necessarily overreacting.
There's no containment around it.
Yeah, there's no containment, and it's a lot of projection. Wounded masculine, she's going to be closed off. If she's in her wounded masculine and not at all revealing any of that to do, she's going to be seeking control and kind of masking that very vulnerable part of herself. Empowered feminine says, I can hold myself in this. I'm with this emotion. It's in my body. I'm actually empowered enough to even hold myself in it and let you see me holding myself in this emotion.
Yeah.
Hello, For the Love of Men podcast listeners. This is Bree, one of your co-hosts. Please pardon our interruption for just a moment for a quick announcement, and then we will be right back to this week's episode. And I am so excited to share with you that Courtney and I have created the first ever way for you to work with both of us together. We have opened up a group coaching call that Courtney and I will be holding for up to 20 people to come in for a 90-minute to maximum 2-hour session to have your questions answered by Courtney and I and have our eyes and hearts and expertise on your love and relationship life. Our first session will be May 19th at 6 p.m. Central Time, and this will be limited to 20 people to ensure that everyone will be able to get their questions answered. If you would like to join us, usually these calls are going to be about $199 a call, but for the first call, we are cutting that price in half for $99 for one time. And then there's a potential that Courtney and I will hold these every single month. If you'd like to join us, there's a link in the show notes. And yes, this is open to both men and women. We would love to have you both. Of course, it is first come, first serve. So if you know you want in, I would encourage you to claim your seat as soon as possible. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We love you so much and enjoy the rest of this episode.
Yeah.
That takes so much vulnerability and strength because as a woman, you don't know how that's going to be received. And you don't know. I mean, hopefully you've done some not manipulative but fair feminine testing and getting to know this man, and you've seen that he's able to hold it. But it is a big leap for a woman to say, hey, here's my heart. And then on top of that, we are working with, as women, some of these fears around, is he going to think I'm overreacting? Is he going to judge me? Blah, blah, blah. So it takes an empowered feminine woman to let you in like that.
Yeah. Based on legitimate experiences. Like you were saying earlier, of like we do a really good job in this day and age of shaming people's emotions.
Men and women.
A lot of us have some experience. Yeah, a lot of us have legitimate experience of like, I revealed that I felt sad and I was seen as weak or had pity taken on me, or I was angry and I got shamed for it and told not to be angry, or that's not nice.
Be a good girl.
Be a good girl. Yeah, all of us have those stories. I think for the masculine, it's more like sadness is hard for them to reveal, and for the feminine, anger, I've heard, is the hardest one for us to own.
Yes.
And so that does play into our ability to set boundaries, because we're afraid we're going to get shamed anytime we experience the anger that would set a boundary.
Yeah.
So, very, very difficult for women. That's some like development that she has to do in order to own her boundaries and deal with the potential for shaming, if that is the case.
Yeah. It takes a strong woman.
Yeah. And so to let you in, to let you in that is such a gift.
And a green flag.
A huge green flag.
If you want intimacy with a woman, she has to be able to let you in, right? Keep in mind that the 3 needs of the feminine are to be seen, to be heard, and to be safe. So allow her over time, as you continue to contribute to the dynamic in ways that make her feel seen, heard, and safe, that she will open more. And sometimes it can take empowered feminine women a bit longer. I know for me, with the person I'm seeing, it took me a while. I was a little gun shy of like, can you hold me? Are you sure? Can I reveal this? It didn't mean I wasn't willing. It just meant I was seeing how we showed up over time. So I would also let her reveal herself to you over time, just as we would give the advice to women to let him reveal himself over time.
Such a good point. And this is where I think to dispel that the timeline can be tricky, because we want, as really empowered people, to not waste our time.
100%.
And empowered people do trust over time. And so there's this kind of like paradox of like giving it enough time to allow it to unfold organically, but also have that clear vision, which kind of leads us into the next one. Anything else you want to say on that one?
No, take it away.
Leads us into the next one of kind of having an idea of what you want, having enough boundary and enough like clarification of what's mine and what I desire, what direction I'm going, to be able to say, actually, this isn't for me and I need to cut it off here because I'm going in that direction and we're about to run off a cliff together if we stay linked up. That takes a lot of strength and courage as well. So being able to simultaneously allow for an unfolding and hold the vision of what you want while you're still headed in the direction that is your calling and your kind of like soul's path.
Yeah, such a good point. So she would be clear on what she wants and where she's going, and she wouldn't be afraid to share that with you.
Yeah. And this can sound like, hey, I want to be married. I want to have kids.
Yes.
I want to have a business. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to travel the world. All these things that maybe she's dreaming of that do need to line up on a day-to-day basis. If you're someone that's like, hey, I want to stay home in this small town for the rest of my life, and I love that, and she's like, I want to live in 12 different countries and just wear a backpack and like the nomad life, like you're probably going to have a conversation about that.
Yeah. Do your values align? Does what you want out of life align?
Yeah. And this is going to make it a lot easier for you men when she has this clarity and you're able to hear it as clarity.
Yes.
And not as we need to force this to fit together, because she's going to be very clear on what she needs as well. In order to create that, what she thinks that she needs is going to be kind of like a rough draft of what you might contribute. You may be able to go above and beyond, which we know you guys are amazing at providing what we're not even aware of thinking that we need, but that might be a really good rough draft of like, hey, what would you want to contribute to this? What could I contribute to this? How would we want to work this? What would work for both of us? What would be a win-win together?
That is such great advice, and it also keeps people out of shape-shifting territory, changing what they want for the other person. Or originally they did want to be a nomad, and then they meet this woman who wants to get married and have a white picket fence, and they're like, oh, I don't want to be a nomad anymore. I'm going to go with her. And you're, of course, allowed to change your mind.
Sure.
Absolutely. But I love that piece of advice, to look at this, and then also that she's aware of what she needs to bring that vision to life. And she's probably aware of how you contribute. Like if she's wanting this relationship with you, if we're speaking about a woman who's empowered feminine, who's seeking a relationship, she's aware of the kind of partner that is conducive to creating that vision with her. And so she's looking for those characteristics and qualities within you. So if you are building a relationship, I just think it's a fun side note to go, this woman is seeing me as somebody who really fits what she's looking for in a supportive partner and provides her what she's needing. Because she knows what she needs in a partner. Empowered feminine women usually know and gain clarity over time what they need in a partner, what's the best fit for them.
Yeah.
Because they have self-awareness.
Yep.
Yep. So good.
Absolutely.
I feel complete around this episode. I think we're going to give you a part 2.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else you want to add to part 1?
Only that there is enough, there is enough awareness on her part of what she needs to stay grounded in the emotional kind of up and down, what you were saying of over time. She's going to be clarifying this and maybe finding new pieces of this, but that won't come off as closed and cold. And I think what we would suggest as your responsibility for this as the masculine partner is to be doing that work too, to clarify what you need from a relationship experience to make it the best possible outcome for you. A lot of times we don't think about like, what do I need? What would I need on a day-to-day basis for me to be the happiest, most thriving version of myself 10 years from now? You may not know 10 years from now, but to just start thinking in that direction is going to give you a lot of access to have those conversations about what can I handle. Maybe you're someone that doesn't like having, I'm trying to think of a really good example, because emotionality is not a bad thing, but maybe you're wanting someone that's a little bit more calm and mellow as a personality trait
versus like
bubbly,
outgoing,
gregarious.
outspoken. And women are different in that way. There are outspoken, gregarious women. There are more leaned back, maybe more like myself, like calm, leaned back, observer type. Yeah.
So knowing that about yourself and kind of what you're looking for, she's going to be doing that too. And the more that we can see, is this a good fit? That is the marker of the empowered feminine, is goodness of fit.
Yeah.
So if you can start seeing it in that way of like, is this a good fit? Can we work together to create a win-win that might be something totally separate and make it a good fit? Or do we need to part ways and say, actually, I really respect you and this isn't going to be a good fit, and I'm not going to be the one for the job, or you're not the one that I'm looking for, so that you can get that.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah, now I feel clean.
Okay, wonderful. Necessary point. Thank you.
Yes.
Courtney, the people want more from you. Where do they go?
Yeah. Everything is on CourtneyShand.com. You can add me on Instagram or Facebook as well. But everything's on CourtneyShand.com. I do have some resources for this if you are a woman that's looking for this level of development and clarity. I would definitely look at checking out the Arise program. Men, I have a similar program for that right now. It's called Rooted. It's a little bit of this kind of self-reflecting type information. But I would definitely say for the women that are listening, the Arise program is what you're going to be looking for this if you're looking to create that type of relationship.
So good.
Yeah. I also have some intensive time if you want some just one-on-one eyes. We can do some time to get really clear on what you actually need before you commit to any of those programs. So definitely take advantage of that.
And oh my gosh, they have our group call.
Yes!
You could come to the group call.
Brilliant.
We are playing with / kind of excited about maybe doing monthly calls, group coaching calls, but we definitely have one on May 19th, 6 p.m. Central, up to 20 people, because we want to make sure we can answer your questions. And it will be Courtney and I together.
So fun.
Coaching you together on love and relationship and creating healthy polarized relationships. So if you want our eyes and hearts on that as a team, normally it's $199 a call. We're going to do this one for $99 in full for the one time. It'll be about 2 hours. I imagine 90 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the depth we go to. So we'll put the link in the show notes for that too.
Yeah, we are on it when we're together. It is potent. And you, Brie, they love your stuff. What do they get?
Oh, yes.
Where do they find your stuff?
Buildingbrie.com, BRI. That's going to have our free event. I'm doing an event this week. You could watch the replays for if you want, on feminine energy and business for my women listening, if you'd like to bring more of your feminine into business. And enrolling a high-level mastermind for business women who want to be more in their feminine as they scale their companies as well. So if you'd like to come into that, that's available. And then in terms of this kind of work, you can always purchase Inside Out, the art and science of healthy relationships on self-study. That'll be really supportive to everything we teach inside of the show. If you guys love the show, by the way, please send it to somebody that you want to win in relationships. And if you see us on TikTok, please leave us some positive comments. We love your positive comments. We read all of them. We talk about them. So we really appreciate it. All right, beautiful people. We will see you in the next episode.